Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing a really simple painting in acrylic. You only need 4 colours and it's going to be super simple, anybody can do it. So I'm really excited and let's get to the video. The colours that we're going to be using are magenta, cadmium orange hue, powder blue or a light blue and Payne's grey. In terms of brushes, I have a Terry Harrison golden foliage. I'm not sure what size this is, but it's a flat brush and it's pretty stiff. And then I've got a Sea White size 2, which we're going to be using for a bit of detail. Don't worry about supplies, just use whatever you have. You don't have to use the same colours, you can use any brushes you've got. I just want to encourage everybody to have a go, no matter what materials you have. I'm going to start off with the flat brush. I've got some water here and an old towel, so I'm just going to dampen my brush and take off any excess water. Sorry about my blue that's running into my Payne's grey. I would probably suggest that you guys do this flat. I just have it vertical for filming purposes, so I'm sorry about this weird melting blue colour. Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to start off with today is this powder blue, which is a gorgeous colour. I absolutely love it. And we're going to paste this in right from the top. I'm going to use this quite thick because we're going to be blending, so I'm going to put not tons of paint, but quite a lot on. And this is why it's really important to get supplies that you can afford to use. And what I mean by that is I don't want anyone to be afraid of using their supplies, and I've done it where I've bought more expensive paints than I could have afforded at that time, and it made me scared to use them, and that is not a good thing when you're trying to create. So you're much better to use cheaper supplies and to not be afraid of them. Okay, lovely. So wash out your brush so it's nice and clean, and again take off any excess water. Now we're going to take this orange, and again taking quite a lot on my brush, I'm going to put this in here. And you can use a little bit of water just to increase that viscosity to make it nice and smooth to spread along the canvas. We don't want so much water that it's all dribbling down, but enough water to make it move nicely across the canvas. Okay. Now once I've put that in, I'm going to wash off my brush completely. And again, take off the water so that it's not wet but it's damp. And then whilst these are still both wet, I'm going to blend across this line. And if it's gone a little bit dry, try adding a little bit of water. But I'm going to take that up and down and blend that line out. You can also go diagonal. And then sideways again, which will really help that blend. Okay, I'm happy with that. So next I'm going to wash my brush out again, and I'm going to take some magenta. And then I'm going to do the same thing, taking a fair amount and pop that in along the bottom. Then wash that off. And you guessed it, we're going to do the same thing, so we're going to blend that out. Blend those two beautiful bright colours together. Now generally it's much better colour-wise for realistic colours not to use them straight out of the tube, but to mix them together and dull them down a bit. But for this, I really want them to be bright, intense and contrasted, so I'm happy using them straight out of the tube. I feel like this is still quite a bit of a strict line, so I'm going to take some more orange just to blend that out again. Okay, I'm really happy with that blend right now. So wash out your brush. And now we're going to wait for this to completely dry. It shouldn't take too long at all. It should maybe take even 5 minutes to half an hour, depending on your climate and how warm it is where you are. Or you can cheat and use a hairdryer to quickly blast it with some heat. Okay, so when that's pretty much dry, it doesn't have to be fully dry, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit tacky, just mostly dry is what we want. Next, I'm going to take the same brush, nice and clean, doesn't have to be wet, just a little bit damp, and we're going to take the Payne's Grey. And now we're going to take that in from the bottom. And this is going to be the silhouette of trees. So you can take that in from the bottom, and then wherever you want the tree line to sit, I want mine just a little bit above the magenta, so probably about now. And to make trees, you can do whatever kind of trees you want. You can do like trees, I don't know what they're called. Are they called pine trees? Or the ones like you see in like the North Pole and stuff. I'm actually going to do like trees that are in the place that I live, so more like deciduous trees. But I'm not going to do anything too detailed. And this is why a flat brush is great, because you can use it sideways for big long blends, but you can also take paint on the tip and just use the shape of the brush and dab. I'm just dabbing this really lightly, and it's just creating tree-like little shapes. And you can go over areas to make them darker or keep them quite light. The main thing with trees is to keep it random. It's really hard for us as human beings. It's hard for us as human beings to actually be random, because when we think we're being random, actually we step back and it can be very obvious. So keep it random. And I'm just going along and dabbing the paint to give those tree-like structures. Brilliant. I mean, instead of trees, if you don't want to do trees, you could do a city skyline, like the New York silhouette. That would be really cool. Or like I say, you can do very stylized trees. You could do one big tree. That would also look really cool as like one big tree. But that would be a little bit harder, I think, in terms of making it look like a tree. I'm not very good at drawing and painting trees. Like I say before, I find the randomness really hard to actually do. But if you take a reference photo, it can really help as well. Okay, what I'm going to do next is add some lovely little birds, that's hard to say, lovely little birds across the skyline, which is going to just draw your attention in. I'm going to be using a thinner brush for this. You can use any brush that you have, as long as it's quite a small one with a round pointy end. And I'm going to get some of my Payne's Grey on the end. I might just zoom you in so it's easier to see. I'm going to start my bird about here, because I want them to be at a third, which is a great place for composition. So I might start the bird here, I think. Yeah, and I'm using a reference photo for this right now. I've got it on my iPad here, and that's really helpful. And this is where you should definitely draw what it is you see and not what you think you see. You can tell I'm concentrating when I've gone really quiet. Okay, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Okay, so there is today's painting. Super simple. Anybody can do it, and we've learnt skills like blending, we've learnt skills with how to use our brush really effectively, and also how to add detail, composition. Honestly, it's so amazing how many skills you can learn in a short time with painting. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed doing that with me. If you post your results on Instagram or any social media, make sure you hashtag me in, because I love looking at your guys' designs and creations. It really just makes what I do on YouTube live for me. To be able to see what you guys create and to know that you've enjoyed painting along is really amazing. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed that tutorial, and I'll see you in the next video.